The DeSantis campaign postmortem. Hold it. How can you have a postmortem before the first vote is cast? Well, it's quite simple. The DeSantis campaign is dead. It's not going anywhere. As Gavin Newsom said tonight in the debate, neither he nor DeSantis are going to be the party's nominee in 2024. It's so true. And to think DeSantis just wasted what should have been an awesome opportunity, particularly for 2028. And in so doing, might have ended his career completely. Tone deaf is just one thing that got in his way. There are others, but you have a classic example of someone being convinced that it's all theirs, just waiting for them to walk on stage and be given the accolades and the laurels and all those wonderful things, because don't you know, everyone really doesn't like Trump. You're the man. You're the great governor of Florida. You've shown how to really do it. Trump, he has all those problems, and he's probably going to get indicted and all those things, and you're going to just walk there, and everyone's just going to fall down at your feet. What DeSantis did not have is what they say Roman generals would have during the victory parades back in ancient Rome, where where a slave would say to them in their ear, "You are mortal. You are mortal." In other words, don't believe the hype. Unfortunately for Ron, he believed the hype. And it is truly amazing that he has continuously decreased in popularity. I found this a number of months ago, and it's quite amazing. Here is the Real Clear Politics average. And this was only through August, but since August, it's continued to go down. You see what's circled there back in April was a precipitous decline. And if you go back and you look at what happened at that point, there was the famous flip-flop that Ron made regarding the Ukraine war. He'd come out and said, basically, that it should be stopped, that we shouldn't be putting any more money into it, and he was sounding a very populist tone. Then his donors got a hold of him, and Ron came back and equivocated and said, well, maybe we need to do some more, and Russia's really terrible, and we really need to go against Russia, and we need to bleed Russia dry. He didn't necessarily say all of those things, but he flip-flopped, and he kind of got back on the pro-war side a little bit, and all of a sudden people just said, I don't trust the guy. I don't, where was this, unequivocating governor of Florida who, was going to get things done and stand up to the deep state and all that? It wasn't there. And that is what started the decline. From that point till now, it's just been one misstep after another. And the DeSantis slide will be looked at in years to come as exactly what not to do in a campaign. It's really amazing because he really could have done so much. If Ron had run his campaign like Vivek Ramaswamy has run his, then I believe Ron would be in a very strong second position to Trump and would probably win Iowa and really make life difficult for Trump. Very difficult. Because remember what Ramaswamy did or has done. He's not done yet, but what he has done. Ramaswamy came out against the war. Ramaswamy came out against the deep state. Ramaswamy came out when Trump was indicted, went down to Florida, DeSantis' home state, went down there when in that first indictment, and he was protesting against the indictment in favor of Trump. Ramaswamy did not beat up Trump. Ramaswamy did not beat up Trump supporters. Ramaswamy has been respectful of Trump. He has talked about what he wants to do and all that, but he's been running his campaign as Trump was good. I want to take what he's done and make it better. DeSantis doesn't even want to admit that what Trump did was good. And since he made that big flip-flop on the war, he has just doubled down on doing all those things that Ramaswamy hasn't done. And if he had done those things, if he had come across as, Trump was great, I really like Trump, but his time's passed and I'm the future. He was trying to bring people into the fold, then he'd be sitting pretty right now. But he didn't do that. It was dumb. And I'm so glad that he did that now. Because if he had played his cards right and he didn't even get into 2024, he would be the de facto nominee in 28. Because his persona, his whole demeanor they could have built him up, and he could have walked away with it in 28. But he didn't. He had to go for it all right now. Hubris. Pure hubris. And it just is sad because he's ruined his career, his political career. And it's going to make governing in Florida the next 2 years, because he can't run. He's only allowed 2 terms per the Florida Constitution. His next 2 years are not going to be good years because he's a wounded animal now, and the legislature in Florida is not going to roll over. They realize that he is not the force to be reckoned with that he used to be. He's vulnerable, and it's not going to be pretty. Not going to be pretty at all. So there you have it. What could have been, except for hubris. He didn't listen. He did not listen to that whispering voice saying, "You are mortal." Glad we found out now. It's Trump or bust, baby. Trump or bust.